Hey everybody, Christina here. I'm a couple minutes late, so sorry. Trying to get everything set up. Christine, I can see your comment. What we need is going to be in the events tab, but it's mostly we're just going to be using the printouts that I gave you. Mine are cut up, so don't look at mine. But hi Paula, hi Chris, hi Annie. So hi Stephanie, hi Sherry. So we're going to be using this stuff, and then we're just going to be using some basic colors, just basic hair colors. I wanted to show you this. Yours are cut up too, Paula. That's awesome. So I cut mine because I have a hard time with that big old sheet of paper. And I made these big enough because I keep a book that has everything in it. I have this book, and this book is for, not that, but this book is for like all the colors that I've used. Don't look at my messy handwriting. But it's for all the colors that I've used on different cards, so I can go back and be like, what in God's green earth did I do? Because let's face it, my memory is, yeah, about that. Hi, Angela. Hi, Dana. So this I also have. This is a book of favorite colors. It's not, I think I just got this. I don't know if I got this at Walmart or where I got it, but it just has different colors in it. I decided, since I'm going to start making these, that you can actually make a book like this and then paste those in there if you're not good at just looking at the numbers that you have. This would help a lot because you can put your numbers in the little boxes. So I've got that. So I have some samples. Meadow grabbed me some samples, and she's helping out with questions. What paper do I use to print out my images? Chris, the paper I use, if I'm printing them out, I use a Nina Solar Rewind. I can't even talk today, you guys. This is going to be fun for y'all. I use Nina Classic Crest Solar White 80 pound. So with that big old long name, no wonder I get tongue-tied. So I have some samples that Meadow grabbed for me. Meadow, say hi.
Hi.
So this is some hair that I did on Marcy, and her hair kind of goes out like this, or it can go flip over backwards. I don't have my other sample because I sent the other sample to Irina. But, oh, you do have that. Good, Chris. That's awesome. So here's another one that I used for the kit. This is just longer, straight hair. And this is kind of like the image that Irina let me use for our practice hair, which I'm super excited. Christine, the images that we're using, the practice sheets, can all be found under the coloring hair, or they can be found in the files section, and you can print all of those out. So I made sure everybody had these. If you want the image itself, like this image, this one is, I think, from my kitchen. Yeah, La La Land Crafts from my kitchen. Marcy digital stamp, and you can get that directly from La La Land Crafts, and I have a link to it with the file as well. So here is some more hair. This is from Aurora Wings. This is the Leo stamp, and this kind of goes over the fur of the lion. So this kind of goes with hair, but it can also go with animals too, that we will be going over later after I get all that stuff uploaded for you guys. I wanted to make sure you guys had ongoing information instead of just overwhelming you all at once. So this image, this is a little Coffee Sprite image, which is similar to the hair for the ringlets, the AW ringlets that you may have saw. I'm trying to find it. Here we go. So this is kind of similar to this hair here. This one, she just has coffee beans in her hair and her bangs are a little shorter, but this one she just has cats and some bangs. And I made sure I made these big enough so that y'all could really get in there and try to figure it out. So, and then here is a popcorn Sprite from Aurora Wings. It's still hair. It's just different hair. So this one, I kind of just colored the popcorn and then colored the hair on the top. But it was still a lot of fun to do her hair like that because you still have all the shadows that go with the popcorn. So I will set this aside. Now, you don't have to, I know I listed some colors for you guys to use on the event part of the video, but you don't have to use those colors. If you have other colors you want to give a go, then feel free to give some other colors a go, really. I'm not going to hold you back from any colors you want to try. I don't want you to be like, think that I'm like, you have to do it this way, because you don't. Be expressive, explore different colors, and just have a ton of fun. If something's not working for you, let me know and we can figure it out together. So I'm just grabbing some colors right now. So here we go. Now, one thing is with hair, everybody thinks you have to have a ton of colors, and you really don't. You can use as many colors as you like, but for the smaller the image, the less colors you want to use, because you're going to lose a lot of your contrast. You're going to lose a lot of your colors when you have so many. So if it's a small image, use a smaller amount. Hi, Esmeralda. So like for a tiny, where'd that go? So for like this image, I'm actually only using 3 markers. That's all I used for this little teeny tiny one. And it was just, it was more of the flicks being like super, super small. Like super small flicks for that one. So you just have to kind of judge how many markers you want to use versus how many you don't want to use with your image. And if you have problems, again, you can always come and talk to me. So when I have an image, I'm going to start with this girl here because she just has very kind of easy hair to do. When you start with an image that well, this is what I do. When I don't know what I'm doing or how I'm going to attack the hair, I start out with my lightest color and I make what I call a blueprint. So I'm going to start with E41 because that's a really light color, but it's not so light that you can't see. So I'm just going to try to keep my hand out of the way. That's going to be a big issue for me, especially with these big old clodhoppers. So, and I'm just going to go along the darkest parts where I think the dark hair would go. Not the light hair, but the dark hair. And I'm just making myself like a little blueprint. And I'm not just, and that's done. When I color, I tend to just do like little tiny scratchy, sketchy marks, because then I feel like I'm able to control the pen a little better. So I'm just pulling this out a little bit. And just so you guys know, I am a puller. I pull down. I don't push up with my markers, so I tend to move my paper around a little bit, and I really hope it doesn't make any of you sick. Because I know sometimes I watch people and I'm like, ooh, I wish they'd stop doing that or I'm going to be sick all over the place. So I'm just making a little, and I'm going in, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm going in between, not just where the dark lines, the black printed lines go, but I'm going in between as well. Because your hair it's not, I mean, sometimes if it's greasy, it looks like a massive blob, I guess. But your hair has several strands and several colors. So using the finer flicks when you're coloring is going to give you a more, well, I don't really color realistic, but it's going to make it look more realistic as far as hair goes. So that's where the fine flicks come in, and that's why I earlier this week I came in and gave you guys that practice sheet and said if you felt that you needed to, you could do all of your little fine flicks, the practicing. So I'm still just going slowly. And this is not going to be the only hair video. I will do multiple hair videos, skin videos, everything like that for anybody who, you know, if you message me or something and say, hey, I still need help, no worries. If you need help, just let me know. So there. So there's my blueprint. Whoops, I forgot the top half. And I don't know if you guys can see this because it's awful bright in my room today. It's actually sunny out. I cannot believe it. It's been poopy out for like the last week. There we go. So now I know where my blueprint is. I know where all my dark colors are. I still, though, don't go in with my darkest color. I go in with my next darkest color, which this is going to be the E44. And the reason I do this is because I don't want to drown it in dark right away. So I'm just going to start, and I'm going to go right exactly over where I had put those lighter marks at. And I'm just doing it real light, just small little fine flicks, because we have these darker black that printed out. We have those that we can use as well for the darkness. So in this back here behind her hair, because you have the front of her hair here, and then this is going to be the stuff that's behind her head, so that stuff is always going to be the darkest because you're going to have a shadow back there. And the black lines on this image also tell you where the darkest part of her hair, like the shadows and stuff, are going to be. Who's coloring along? Tell me if you're coloring along with me or if you're just watching. So this is the next darkest, and I'm just going to go back in again because I'm upside down as always. My mom always said there was something wrong with me joking around, and this might be it, that I always have to color upside down. So there we go. We're almost done with that color. Now as you can see, I don't color really fast. Yay, almost everybody's coloring too. That's awesome. Meadow's not coloring, just so y'all know. She's just sitting there watching, waiting for you guys to ask questions. What are you playing with, Meadow? You playing with the clay? Mm-hmm. So I don't color really fast unless I'm late for a project for a design team. Then it's really fast. But I color kind of slow so that I can take my time, so I can see what I'm doing and just really get into what I'm doing as well. Because if I'm not into it, yeah, it's just a mess. Just a straight up mess.
Lisa wants to know if you could mention the paper again.
Lisa, the paper is, thank you, Meadow. This title is so long. It is Nina Classic Crest Solar White 80 pound. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I have that in a couple different places. But let me, since I'm done doing that part, I'm just going to go ahead and Nina. Whoops. Helps if you spell it right. And I just get mine on Amazon. Classic Crest. This is such a long. Classic Nina's Solar White 80 pound. And that's if you're welcome, Lisa. That's if printing directly from you gave you black sheets. What? How did you get black sheets? They should be PDF. What happened, Christine? Help me out. Tell me more. What happened? Take a picture and stick it on there or something. You have me worried. So now I'm going to do, I know the basic blending groups always tell you to go to 2 or 3 colors in between. But girls get white. I hope it's printing out okay. But it says to go 2 or 3 in between, but sometimes when we have the E families or when we have the gray families, like the earth families and the gray families, sometimes just going that one step actually helps. So the other colors like the greens and the yellow greens, yours printed black as well? That is, can somebody take a picture so I know what's going, so I can see what's going on, so I can try and troubleshoot it for you guys, please? I feel really bad. So, because they printed out fine for me, but just because they printed out fine for me isn't going to mean anything at all. So, but the yellow greens, the greens, the reds, those ones you do want to follow the basic rule of going 2 to 3 colors in between, because those ones there will be a difference. This one will just be a small difference. Oh, thank you, Sherry. That makes me feel better. Yes, you do have to download it first, Christine. That will make a huge difference. So sorry. I thought you guys would download it first, because that way you can print them as much as you absolutely want to. So, yay, Stephanie. Awesome. Did yours print okay, Stephanie? Oh my gosh. So, we just did E44. Now we're going to do E43 while everybody tries to get me a picture of what happened to their printouts. So, and I'm just going to go right back over the E44 lines. And I'm going to go out just a little bit more. Oh, good. I'm glad yours printed out okay, Stephanie. So, and like I said, do you guys want me to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better? Let me know. Because I think I'm looking at my screen and I can barely see it, but I'm almost blind as a bat. I have to, yeah, I wear glasses. So, let me know if you need me to zoom in a little bit for you. Meadow, can you please stop your wiggling the table? Yes, please. Okay, let me put my pen down so I can see what I'm doing on my phone. Let's see. Let me adjust this. Hang on 2 seconds. Things are going to get a little shaky, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see if that helps. Hopefully that'll help a little bit better. Okay, how's that, guys? Is that better? And then I'll know too going forward. That way you guys can see better. Let me know. Okay, so I don't know where I was. So I'm just going to go back, and it's basically just layer after layer, and every time I do a stroke, I'm just going right back over the last flick or stroke that I made and pulling it out a little bit. So maybe you guys can see it this time. Oh, good. Thank you, Annie. A little closer? Okay, let me see if I can. Let's see how that works out. You're blind too? So I'm trying to keep my fat little claws out of the way for you. Which is not making my little fine strokes very easily. But I'm just going over it again, and I'm just pulling those flicks out. And this will help with the blending part of it too, and this will also help with oh good, I'm glad, Esmeralda, thank you for letting me know. But this will also help with keeping the contrast for the highlights. Now, a lot of people will do like the highlights like a little U shape like this through someone's hair. Say here's the bangs, and then here's the top of their head, and they'll say, oh, leave a U shape, like a little shape like that. But go out and look at people's hair, look at your hair in the mirror, while you're in your car, something like that. It is not always this U shape. If you look at people's hair, look at photos on Google, I will tell you 100% of the time, if I'm stumped about where I should put something, or you know, the contrast and stuff for shadows, I go to Google and I will look up different photos, like actual photos, not things that have been drawn or colored, but actual photos, and I will look to see exactly where the light is hitting. So Google is going to be your best friend when it comes to shadows. And I think, no, I didn't get them all. I forgot these ones, you guys. But the shadow is not always just like, I call it, I don't know how old any of you, but there used to be like a old, I think it was like a scrubbing bubbles commercial or something for some sort of detergent, but it was like you got a ring around the tub. Well, I call it ring around the head. So there isn't always just a ring around the head kind of a thing. So now I'm going to go in with my E40 Dew, and I'm going to do pretty much the same thing, but the strokes are going to be just a little bit longer, and I'm going to kind of fill in where the other strokes didn't go, just a little, not a lot, just a little. See how I did that one? So this is where it starts to get a little easier, and you're probably thinking, oh, but she's losing all the dark highlights. Just wait for it. It's coming. I'll show you. And this is why, because I am very heavy-handed, I cannot blend like how most instructors, teachers, whatever you want to call it, I cannot blend how they blend because I am just way too heavy-handed. It just, it doesn't work for me at all. So that's, you know, one of the other reasons I decided to start showing people how I do things for everyone else who's heavy-handed. So now we're just going to go in on this side with the E42, and we're finishing up. As you can tell, as the lighter that we go, the little bit faster that I get, because I know where I'm going, I know where my looks are going to be. So there's that one. Now I'm going to go in with my darkest, because I've got my layout, I've got my blueprint, I've got things where I want them to be. Now I can go back and I can do those dark shadows the way I want them to be. So I'm going to go in with my E49, and I'm going to go on this dark line and go right here. I'm not going to put a lot of it, but I am going to put some. And I'm following those given lines that were given by the artist, because obviously the artist knew what they wanted it to look like. So there's part of it, and I'm just going real slow because I don't want like some big old black blob across her head, because believe me, if you can screw up an image, I've screwed up an image. I'm just going to tell you right now, I am not perfect. Not perfect at all. So here we go. Now I'm just going to do the bottom half of the top parts of her little, are these considered ponytails or barrettes? I'm not entirely sure. What do y'all think they are? So, but if you put too much of the dark, it's going to look a little overpowering, and that's why I'm only putting a tiny, tiny bit. Because your dark shadows and highlights are not going to come all the way down. It's only going to be like the very, very top part of your hair, and like where you have ribbons and folds in your hair. So like I said, back here is going to be the darkest part of her hair, because this back here is behind her head. You're looking in through her hair. So it's going to be darker than the rest of it. And I always go with my flicks, I go up and down just like I have been. So this right here, you can see that there's a bit of a fold here and a bit of a fold here. And she's got some contrast here, like the hair goes behind. And then you've got this. And I'm going to turn this around because I feel like I definitely have more control over where my pen is going to go if I'm pulling. So, and you're also going to want to put a few little streaks next to her ear, because her ear is going to give it a little bit of a shadow as well. And then, let's see, this hair you can tell is behind, this one is behind this piece a little bit, and then this piece is behind these pieces a little bit. So we're going to put a little bit here. And we'll go here and a little more there. And then we'll just put some little tiny tufts of dark in there. Oops, we need tiny tufts over here too. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go and we're going to use the E47. So, and what I usually do is I go back to where I started. That way this part had a little bit of time to dry. Because a lot of the time people are like, don't let it dry, don't let it dry. Sometimes it's actually better to let it dry because it will blend better. I've gone back on a project 3 years later and fixed the hair because oh, I didn't like the hair that I did. So this will definitely, you can let it dry a little bit, okay? You don't be freaked out if it dries a little bit. It will still blend. So now we're just going to pull these little lines out a little bit more. Just like we did at the beginning. You can tell I'm going a little bit slower now. Is everybody still hanging in? Everybody doing okay still? With all these crazy colors? And I put in a little extra little tufts because she is going to have darkish brownish hair. And we can always do a live too with, like, if you guys want to do one with, like, I don't know, if you want to learn pink hair, hot red hair, green hair, blue hair. Maybe we'll do one where we just learn how to do like the feathered hair, stuff like that. You guys are awful quiet. You must be coloring or downloading images or something. So we're just gonna finish this color up, and then after this color, we are gonna go back to E44. We're just gonna kind of blend it all in, keep our contrast, but now we have the darkness of the hair again. Ooh, it got dark in here all of a sudden. Must be a cloud passing over. But again, just short little tiny fine strokes as much as I can do them. So I'm done with that one. I'm going to go back to my E44. And guys, tell me if I'm going too fast, okay? If you guys are trying to keep up with what I'm doing, please let me know if I'm going too fast. So, and flip her over, and we're just, again, going over the same ones, and you can bring it out a little bit. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Remember, we have to practice. Practice makes a huge difference. It's one of the reasons I love being on a design team, because since I have cards due all the time, it keeps me practicing the way that I should be. So we are almost done with this one. And it's not going to be blended absolutely, like you can't tell where there's any lines, because with hair, you want there to be soft, subtle lines. Not like, bam, there's a line, you know, but you want it to have small lines, because then it'll actually look like you have strands of hair. So you want it to look a little bit unblended. But in the hair, as you're coloring, you should still be able to see, like right here, you can still see the E42, the E43, you can see the E41, the 47, you can see all the different colors of the hair. And it's all because you're using fine flicks, and you're using different colors, but that's how our hair looks. Our hair is many different colors. It's not just one solid color unless you're using a really bad hair dye. So, this is how I color hair, and this is just the very easy, basic hair. Does anybody want to see how I would do it on a Lala hair or Aurora Wings? What other color hair would, or what kind of hair would you like me to show you? I'm on a little bit of a delay, so this is going to take a minute for you guys to answer me, I think. So there's this one, and these ones you can also make, like just take a Sharpie or a Copic pen, and you can make your own little boxes over here, and you can practice the eyes, you can practice the skin and everything. Do you fill in all the white space? No, do not fill in all the white space. If you see mine still has a little bit of white where I didn't fill it in, but it's kind of covered with an E42, but not completely. So Christine, you want me to do light hair, like a blonde hair? So blonde hair, and you want me to do la-la. So let me get the markers for that. I'm going to grab E51, E50, E53, and E55. Those are my favoriteest blonde hair because you get your blonde hair, but it's still a little bit dark. So let's see. Where's my Lala? Where's my Marcy? I love my Marcy's. So we'll move, I'll put her, I don't know if you guys can see her if I move her up here for everybody that's still working on this one. So I'll give everybody a second. So I'm going to grab, I have the Marcy with the hair. So Irina was also nice that we get to use this one for skin as well. So that's pretty exciting. Marcy's hair is a lot of fun. She's got a lot of different haircuts to do. And I think the next, yes, the next club, La La Land Crafts, if any of you are in the club, Marcy actually has curly hair this time. So that'll be fun. Once that one is released, I'll be able to show you how I colored that one. And if you guys ever have, sorry, I had to take a drink. If you guys ever have any images that you're having problems with, you're like, how do I color this? Just let me know. Please write the numbers down. The numbers for the brown hair, Sherry, the ones we just used are E49, 47, 44, 42, nope, 43, then 42, and 41. So there's that one. You're gonna watch the replay the kids. Oh, glad you were having fun, sweetheart. So now Marcy that we're gonna do right now for blonde hair is E50, E51, E50, whoops, E53, and E55. So those are the next ones we're gonna do, okay? So in E51 and E50 are pretty much, you won't see them in your hair. I just use that for a blueprint and that's it. So I know what I'm gonna do and then I can go over it with my darkest one. So let's see, we're gonna start with E50. You're welcome, Sherry. So we're gonna start with E50. And again, this is just a blueprint. So that way I can see what I'm gonna do. Meadow, can you get that light for me, kiddo? Because it got dark in here all of a sudden. See if we can shed some light on this. There we go. Yep, thank you, kiddo. So and I'm just putting the marks. Again, it's just where, sorry, I have to hold it down. I don't do very well when it curls up after being printed. And when I do hair like this, I usually start in the corner and I go out like this, and then kind of just keep going up and just around. So let me show you with a darker one. So it's just like I start here and I go like this, and then I just kind of keep going like that. Okay. So let's go back with this. The back hair, I just pretty much just go from where the root of your hair would be. Now these curls, yeah, I'll be honest with you, for the longest time I thought these curls at the end of the hair were the bane of my existence. Like, I just wanted to cut them off because I did not want to color them. They were so hard to color. But then I figured out that I do exactly how I did before. I put a line down at the bottom, and then I just kind of come out again and come around. You'll see that a lot better when I do it with the E55. So, but once I figured out how to do them, it was not so bad. So there, oops, I have to do these ones. There we go. And then the dark hair back here again, because this is going to be darker because it's behind her and all that she has going on. So there's that color. So now we're going to go in with our E55. And we're just going to go over exactly what we just did. And I'm just doing small, just thin strokes, and I'm getting those by just barely touching the paper. And you can go back in with your E55 later if you want there to be more of it to look like more of a bold statement if you want to. But I just do it really light at first. That way I don't, you know, do it really thick and then be like, oh gosh, I don't like that at all. Because I am not the type to go back and fix things very often. You can ask Meadow. There is a lot of times I just throw it away and I start over. I'm really OCD about it. Seriously, I don't joke about OCD. I'm definitely OCD. So I just come in like that with the curl. And then, and it just goes like that. And then the end of the curl I do color in, just because it would probably be dark anyways. And then you can bring them up from there. So again, with this curl, it's just starting at the tip and coming around, and then just kind of doing the same thing over and over until you get your colors all the way around. Okay, so I hope that helps with those curls, because I know I had a heck of a time when I first started with Lala. So we're going to put the back stuff in back here. And then we'll do this stuff up here. Now with her headband here, you're going to have a little bit of a shadow, so you can just bring this all the way around, because there's going to be a shadow there from her little headband. And then the same thing on this side. This will go all the way around the little shadow. And then she's going to have her strands of hair. And as you know, there's going to be more of the darkness at the root, so if you want to do that now, you can do that now. And I always go from side to side and get that done. Y'all are quiet. You must be concentrating and coloring. Okay, now I'm going to move in with my E53. And this one I'm going to pull in, and it's going to be just a little, the stroke is going to be just a little bit thicker because we're coloring in a little bit of a bigger area than what we did on this one. So that's one thing you can determine too, is how big do your strokes need to be, or how big do you want them to be, depending upon the size of your image. A lot of your coloring is going to depend on your image and what is going on with it and how you want to color it. So you got to consider the image first, because not all the same techniques are going to work for every single image. See, now I'm just bringing these ones up, and I'm adding a few extra because this is, again, it's a little bit larger, and I'm going over this shadow that I put on her headband. And you really want to bring these out on her hair. And it's just moving in a curving motion. There we go. We're getting it done, guys. I hope you all will post, like if you're coloring along, I really hope you'll post your pictures when we're all done, because I would really love to see how y'all did. So I'm still just pulling everything out. And it's kind of, if you'll see, you're kind of blending things along the way. But you still, I'm trying to use the top of my pen and keep my fat fingers out of the way for you to get those really nice hair pieces going. There we go. So I think, no, I did not get this part. But it's all about the fine flicks when it comes to doing hair like this. Unless you've got dreads. If you've got dreads, well, then you can just color it any old way. Now I'm going to go to E51. Now this hair, since it's blonde, it is going to have a little more contrast. You are going to have a little bit more white left behind. But this is my favorite. This is my favorite combination for blonde hair. And I'm just going over the E53, just like I have been with the E51. And I'm just putting in a couple more strokes, but I'm leaving some white in there for the contrast. Oop, and I forgot to do the E53 right here and right here, so I'll go back with that. But if you'll notice too, I do the whole head, but I work within one section of the hair. I don't just, oh, it's just one big, huge lob. You got to go section by section, and if you cut it off in different sections, it really makes a huge difference without getting frustrated, because I used to get so frustrated when I colored before. I was just like, oh, let's just cut it off into sections. So it really, really makes a difference. So even like this part right here, so like this would be its own, this piece would be its own, and then I would cut it off right here. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. right here, this whole thing would be a section, and then this whole thing would be a section. And that's just how I dealt with it because it made it so much easier. Now, these two pieces back here are in the back. So those aren't going to have as much contrast as everything else here in the front. So those ones you can really just color in a lot more. Can't remember if I did this part up here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my E53 since I forgot those other pieces back here. And again, these are going to be a little bit darker so they can have a little bit more color from the E53. Because that's behind her head. There we go. And now I'm going to go this way on it. Because this right here is its own little section. And now we can also go, now that we have all that done, although it looks like I missed right there, so I'm going to go back with my E51 really fast. There, just a little. So I'm going to go back with my E55 because this is where now your boldness comes in. And you can bring all that shading back. So it still looks blonde, but you haven't lost your darker highlights. And you can really, you can see the difference, how going in with the dark and getting it all drawn out will give you extra color, but then when you go back with it, it also gives you those darker highlights and really makes the hair pop. And you can make it as, you know, as many streaks as you want, or a little bit, a lot, whatever you think looks good is going to look good because you did it. So I'm going to go back over the stuff in the back, give it more of a shading. And then I'm going to attack these curls again. Let's see. So again, if you missed it the first time, you just go ahead and go up. And this is just coming around again. So, and then the other curl. And again, you can pull this all the way up if you want, like make it real dark right there. And you can pull it all the way up if you want to. You don't have to leave it light. See, so that would look like it had a shadow right there. But you can make it come all the way up. It's pretty much just what you feel looks good and what you want to do. And you can tone it again if you mess it up. Like my flick was a little bit fat right there, but if you mess it up, you can always go back in with the lighter colors and do it again. Whatever you feel you would like to do. Anybody have any questions yet or anything? Y'all are making me nervous. You're so quiet. Did y'all leave me? Nope, there's still 5 of you here. See, so you can just pull that out again if you want. Make her blonde a little bit darker. There we go. So it's all about the hair and what you want it to do. Here we go. See, like I messed that part up real bad. I'm not happy with that at all. Awesome. You're doing good, Sherry. Well, I would expect you to do good, Sherry. You're good at it anyway. Same with Christine. Christine does great hair too. So that is blonde hair on a Lala doll. Or I call them dolls, but Lala Marcy's. So I have lots of different hair. Meadow, what time is it? I don't want to keep everyone too long.
3:57.
Oh, 3:57. So we're running right on time. I don't want to take up everybody's Saturday. So we did these two. I did blonde and I did brown hair. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that? We can go over, let me know too if you guys want to go over red hair, different color hair. Any suggestion, let me know, because we're going to be doing these videos a lot. So I'm going to need to know what you guys are interested in. So these ones you can also do their skin, but we will go over skin Tuesday. So even if you save these and you want to go and color the skin in on Tuesday, we will do this on Tuesday afternoon. If you miss it, the videos will always be saved in the group. I will put them, they will be in the videos section, and they will also be in the different units. So like this video will be in the hair unit, and I will keep it in there for you guys. This one will probably put under long hair, because that's what we did today. So I hope you guys got something out of this. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you're having problems. You're very welcome, Sherry. Thank you so much for letting me know, because this was my first live class with you guys. So, whew, I'm sweating, just saying. And it's not because it's hot outside or anything. I'm sweating here. So, you guys are going to have to let me know how I did, how you like the class and stuff. Let me know if there's anything more you want to learn. So, questions, it helps me provide for you guys. Paula, you need practice? Honey, we all need practice. I need practice. So, just upload what you got for me, Paula, what you did today, Paula, and I'll let you know what the difference is or what I would do or something like that. But again, I'm not grading you guys. I'm just going to tell you how good you did and what little tips and tricks maybe. So I think this class is great because it was our first one. So then you guys can upload what you did, and then we can go back and we can do this class again if you want to, and we can just practice together. So I did set up a Zoom for blending, and maybe we can start doing some more classes on Zoom as well if you guys want to. It doesn't look like, it's not supposed to look like mine, Paula. It's supposed to look like yours, not like mine, silly. So, and mine, I kind of jacked up my curls. So, because I was nervous, my hands are seriously shaking. You guys can't see, but my hands are shaking. So, all the videos that I did that are already in the class, I did those with nobody watching. So it was easier. So, yeah, just keep me informed. You love to do Zoom, Sherry, fantastic. We can do more Zoom classes where we can all see each other, we can all talk, you can hold up what you're working on, and I think it would be awesome for us to do Zoom classes all together. So everybody put your comments on here if you want to do Zoom as well, and we will get it figured out, okay? You fall out. Oh, thank you, Paula. Thank you so much. Christine, you're probably falling asleep. It's late where you are, young lady. Thank you for joining. So, and you do great hair. But I'm going to let y'all go so you can enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon, or Christine, Saturday night. So you can go party or go to bed, whatever you do on a Saturday night. Okay, and I will talk to you guys later. I love you all. Thank you so, so much. Christine, if you're still having problems printing the stuff out, let me know and I will help you. Okay, love you guys. Bye.